All right, Garrett, you got me. You got me. It's a pro dev tool, but there's a lot of questions I have. Okay, like yes, we can build some web files. We can build some web templates. I want to know more. How do I feed in some more complex objects? I don't want to feed in just some strings of garbage. I want to feed in really complex structures because if I'm going to build real pro dev utilities for other people to use, the requirements get out of hand sometimes, and I need to build more complicated things. Let's talk about how we build more complicated interfaces for these components.
Yeah. So, I mean, all these web templates are doing is just, executing basic HTML. And if you have JavaScript in your script tag, it's, going to execute that when the time comes. So, um, there's no reason you can't bring in JSON objects and then just unpack them with your JavaScript to do more things. So, let's
Okay.
say like we have an example of, we'll just continue using our accordion example. Um, and we'll say that maybe there's like a list element that needs to go inside the accordion. And how would you do that here? Like you want to do that dynamically, right? So, um,
Obviously.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what's
I don't want to
the,
have like 5 accordion controls in a row. I want one control and I feed it all of my stuff.
yeah, you want one control. Yeah. So, what we're gonna do, we'll kind of show a little bit about just unpacking JSON, and then and a little bit down the line, we'll cover a little bit more. But so, we're gonna start by adding a new param here. So, I'm gonna jump in to our params array, which we covered in the last video. Please jump into that one if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about. We're going to call it accordion item list JSON. So that's going to give us a list of items. And we'll actually take that and render it as a bulleted list inside of our accordion component. And so we need to actually also give our HTML an element to attach that list to. So we'll go ahead and put that inside our accordion content div. We've got UL right here, and then it's currently just an empty UL. So we need to fill it up, and we're going to do that by, I'm going to copy this in, and then we'll kind of go over it line by line. So we got a document get element by ID accordion item list, and we're doing inner HTML.
Okay.
And we'll pass it an arrow function here. We'll just say, hey, this is we want to go ahead and JSON parse our accordion item list JSON, which is the parameter that we're passing in right here.
Okay.
And then we will make a array called list items. And then, well, actually, we'll just make an object called list items, I believe that is. And then we will kind of go over the array, or the JSON object, sorry, that actually contains an array. And I'll show this in a minute, what we're actually doing inside the JSON. But we're basically going to create our list items dynamically, plug it in, and then we'll return it.
Right. And every
And
one of those LIs is an accordion object.
yeah, well, yeah. We're not building out a full accordion on here. We're just going to do a
Not
little
yet.
list
Okay, we
inside.
should build
But
the list.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you could. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly. Maybe we should probably do a video on that. Maybe we'll do that for another one and figure that out. That'll be kind of fun. But yeah, so then you return the list items, which is going to attach it to this inner HTML, which is the inner HTML of our accordion item list. And then blam, you have a whole list. So starting off, I have JSON here. And one of the problems that I have is you kind of have to like know what your JSON is going to be called. So maybe you want to kind of clearly document that for the users. So I have a thing called list items in here. And then similarly, I'm saying list JSON object dot list items. That is indeed the same list items in here.
Yeah, I
We
mean
got a
that's always
pretty,
the problem with deserialization, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this is looking good. We're gonna go ahead and pull that over and make a web template out of it. So we'll start a new one. We'll call it liquid JSON.
And this makes sense, right? I think everything about this is just sort of already intuitive. All we're doing is we're passing a string.
Yeah, we're not even doing
We're
anything
just
that's like,
we just happen to be passing a JSON string,
yeah,
right? So there's nothing crazy going on here. And then once we've got the string, all right, we happen to be able to deserialize it.
Yeah, we're not doing anything that's actually like unique to web templates. This is something you could theoretically just do out of the box in JavaScript, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, nothing.
It's good to see it happen, right? Like, good to
Yeah.
see that proof that, yeah, this still works. All these basic concepts still apply.
Yeah. So this is a pretty basic example, but we could, like you were saying, unpack it into actually like making a full accordion out of this. That'd be pretty cool. So
Right.
like it's very, very powerful. So kind of renders a little funky until you actually give it stuff. But we're gonna go ahead
Value.
and say accordion one, accordion item body. Hello, I am content. And then we're gonna give it a quick ID. And then our accordion item list JSON shows up here. So what we do with that is we'll actually take this JSON here, and I usually condense it into a single line. I found that is the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and
Do the new line characters pose an issue at all,
it's
or it's harder
probably
to read it?
you could probably do like escape n or whatever for the
Okay.
string because it is being handled in JavaScript. I think you could do that, but I just pass it in as one line. It makes it easy, and there's tools to do it easily. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and the editor there obviously is expecting a single line, and so
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. So that's that. All right, so we'll sync and preview. And
well, you're
actually, I'm
gonna let me
gonna
see the accordion coming up right there. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm actually going to slightly spoil it and say that this is not going to work, and there's a reason why it's not going to work, and that makes me want to demonstrate even more things about it because there's a couple of quirks with doing this. So we'll do desktop preview, jump in here, and so it's all right, but it doesn't.
Looks like there's a space for a UL beneath the content there,
Yeah, but it
right?
doesn't actually render itself. So you'll look in here and expected property name or that kind of thing, and JSON at position 1. So I've got a couple things there. Actually, I also just realized we need to getting that error in the console because that's still here, even though we're not doing that anymore. And yeah, so what's going on here is it's really a matter of quotation marks. um,
Okay.
since
Oh, it's the double
actually,
quotes.
yeah, so the JSON has double quotes,
It's supposed
right?
to have
And
like
like,
backslash UO
yeah, well, I'll show you
UO
something actually.
22 or something like that. UO
Yeah,
222.
so I'll make it easy, actually. We're diving in. I kind of glossed over that real quick, but you see this edit code button that actually will open up Visual Studio Code on the web, and it'll open up within your Power Pages site. So it has all the context and all the files that are necessary. So it's loading. It takes a second usually, but um, so what we're looking at right here is actually the web page copy, as in like the content that renders on the web page. And I'm gonna quickly do a little bit of formatting just to make it a little cleaner. Give me just a moment. I'm sorry. Whoops, just a touch too far. And then cool. All right, so that should be all right. So if you look here, we've got include liquid JSON accordion. This is a liquid tag since all of Power Pages loves liquid. And yes, this is including the component that we did. It actually placed this here automatically when we put it
When
in
you
through the
registered it on there,
yeah,
yeah.
when we put it in through the WYSIWYG, it actually adjusts its own code and adds it there. But we have our problem with our UL, and you'll notice we're actually encapsulating it in double quotes, and then it hits another double quote right
Right.
here because JSON, you can only use double quotes within JSON, I think. So I have found it actually works just fine if you go ahead and put it in single quotes on the outside.
You could probably just escape them with a backslash too when you
Probably also
register
do
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true
just
too.
backslash escape them and it'll work, or swap them with the it's like slash U0222 or I don't
Yeah,
remember. I don't remember, but
a couple ways you can handle this. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Um. So Always takes a second to sync a preview. If we jump into preview now, and there you go. Sure enough, you've got 2 list items right here matching up with this JSON right here. So we've got ourselves a list. So if you needed to
Nice.
do something like that, you could do that very easily, and you could probably understand, like, wouldn't be crazy to go ahead and break this out into much bigger things. So I think we'll add that to our agenda, a video of like actually creating multiple accordion elements from a JSON list. I think that'd actually be pretty useful. So, but this is just a basic use case for this sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's all we had to show today. Charles, any questions I can answer?
No, man, this looks good. This looks
Yeah.
good. I like it. I like the way it's going. By
Yeah.
the way, I googled it while we were on here. It's /u 0022.
0022. So
Yeah, /u 0022.
okay.
You can swap that for every one of your double quotes. That is double quote,
Yeah, yeah.
but it doesn't break your JSON.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Good
Yeah,
to
yeah,
know. Yeah. So multiple ways you could handle that if you needed to. Yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh,
All
this
right.
is great, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the idea. The idea that what we can start to do is feed in these more complicated objects,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can have more complicated controls. Right?
Yeah.
Like at some level, you want your controls to be as atomic as they can be, but at other times, right, atomic doesn't work. Right?
Yeah.
You
I
need
mean,
the
like,
control to encompass a few elements, right? Because they may be interactive, or their formatting and their alignment
mhm.
might matter with respect to each other, right?
Right.
You have something that wraps properly, right? A whole
Yeah.
bunch of one control, lots of elements, and they should wrap properly. Okay, well, we want to put that into one thing, and that
Yeah.
the ability to put in all that, however, an arbitrarily complicated config for it is really important.
Mhm.
Is there a length on the a length cap on the JSON? Have you tested that out?
Um, I have not found a length that'll break it, and I've put in some decently long things.
Let's give that a try.
So
We can find that out.
yeah, yeah, we'll mess with it.
Let's try and
Yeah.
break it. We'll put it in the comments if we can
Yeah.
break it with 2,000 or 10,000 or
Yeah.
20,000 characters.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there also is probably a limit to the number of characters you can put in, the Monaco editor, but I don't know. I don't know. So it's big questions. I mean, they have some pretty long files that just come out of the box. So
Well,
I don't know. Yeah.
we should
Lots of
give that a
things.
test. Give
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one a test on the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things are possible here. All right, cool. Well, yeah,
All right.
that's all we
Thanks,
have.
Jared. This has been fantastic, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.